The Moroccan Cultural Day is an event organized by Moroccan American Connections in Revere, which happen to be the founder. And we have been organizing it for the fourth year in the row, and it's been organized in Shirley Municipal Parking, but we cannot do it this year because of the public work going on in that street. And it brought to my attention by my ward councillors, Ira Novoselski. So we have been looking for an alternative place. This is the first time we're going to organize it in the Wellness School, but it's an event that has been around for 4 years.
Down there.
So just to recap on this, so you will need a letter from me from Chief Guido.
A letter from Chief Guido that he's comfortable with the security plan that you have regarding the amount of people you expect. Deputy Chief Cheever for the fire department. A letter from the schools department indicating that they are all right with you having this event there. And then
And a copy of the insurance policy.
and a copy of the insurance rider.
Absolutely.
So what is your feeling now on this event at this point? I see that you've gotten all of the approvals that we had asked for. However, like I say, the counselor did change his mind.
But we still want to follow up on this in case we are not hoping to do it at this time, but we want to get the approval and maybe postpone it because we went through all of these. And I just want to make sure that Ward 6 counselor, he is okay with this festival being done in his word, regardless of that situation. We are not going out by ourselves in this current situation and celebrate. We understand that, but we just want to get done with the approval and put the whole thing on hold. And in the meantime, I would like to thank the people who supported my application. I would like to thank Mayor Arrigo for sending his support letter. I would like to thank as well Diane Kelly, Dr. Diane, for submitting her support letter, as well as we got the approval from Police Chief Guido, as well as the Fire Department Chief Wright, that I would like to thank them for following up on that and getting us the approvals. Mike from the rec department has approved this application, and we got the liability insurance. I'm not sure why Councillor Sereno changed his mind, but all of these people who submitted their approvals, they understand that we are not going to do it at this specific time, but the process takes so long. Let's say we decide we are done with this situation in August and we would like to celebrate. Can we do that? I understand your concerns, lady and gentlemen, but as I mentioned, this takes a long time to gather all of these approvals. And I personally not feeling good about it standing in front of you at this specific time of the crisis, asking for a street festival. However, we started a process and we'd like to finish it. And our organization stopped all of its regular activities and joined the Revere Emergency Response Team. We are fighting in the front line for the good thing of our city. We have been making masks for the city of Revere. We are in the middle of this situation, and ourselves, we wouldn't allow it if we are not done with it. We may not do it. I just want to have a contingent approval because we have done some work, and we don't want to go back again and lose the approval of the chief, lose the approval of the mayor, lose the approval of all of these people. We got 8 approvals. Only one person who goes back and change his mind. The mayor, the leader of the emergency response team, we didn't hear back from him. We understand that because he knows that we are fighting with him in this battle, and we won't be going outside and doing this festival while we know other people and put other people in risk. while we have been fighting for them for the last 2 months.
Question, question for clarity. When were these approvals? What date? I read through them last night. I don't remember exactly the dates they were approved. Like from the mayor down, from the mayor. When did you start getting approvals? Was it in February? Was it in March? Because the reason I ask is not until recently have we really run into some really critical numbers around here, especially in Revere, Chelsea, and some surrounding communities. In fact, I think Revere is #2 in the state for the number of instances. So I'm not sure. At the time, I think they may have, if it was done a month ago, it wasn't as extreme situation as it is today. So I'm wondering when were these approvals given? I don't remember the dates. I don't have the papers in front of me. They were done prior to the significant increase in cases in this area in Revere. Can we just get them reaffirmed? Because at that time, I don't think there was any. I'm just asking the question because I want to make sure everyone's on the same page. But things change. Things change. So if this thing was done at the end of February, these approvals, then I think they should be revisited and reaffirmed like Councilor Sereno did. He
So
That's fair enough. Fair enough. And I just want to thank you for your support. And we are very grateful to have some collaborative people in the city of Revere. That's good.
Harry De La Russa Stadium for the past 4 years, but as an organization have been around for 6, but women's football has been in Boston for over 20. So we are looking to have a beer and wine malt liquor license at our home games, basically sold from just before kickoff through the third quarter, which is around 6 to approximately 8 p.m. on game day. At this point in time, you're correct that our season, like everything else in the world, is on hold and in the process of kind of continuing to monitor the situation and determine when and if we'll be able to kick off for a season. But just want to say that last year, we feel like we had great success in partnership with the staff at Harry De La Russa and our organization in safely serving alcohol to our limited number of fans, and want to reiterate this really did change and elevate the experience that we could offer.
And it was a great time. And again, I'm looking at these dates. Unfortunately, I am concerned about the next 2 weeks. One you have down here is for April 25th.
Yep.
The next one, of course, is May 2nd, which we know would be, well, for myself, to approve that, I just can't see doing that at this point.
Yeah, and
looking for today? What is it that
up to 6 one-day licenses to be used on Saturday nights for women's tackle football games once we can secure dates. So contingent licenses.
Okay, but you don't have the dates and you don't have a confirmation from the city if we have any events.
I believe we have the Saturday nights secured through July. Should we need it. So what we are looking for is the approval to host, this year up to 4 events of a one-day license that would give us during game day from approximately 6 to 8-ish p.m. at night to serve alcohol at our games.
In July.
Could be late June and July when our season kicks off.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Is there anybody else? Commissioner LaCroix, do you have anything you'd like to ask?
Yeah, so same with Commissioner Guanasso. Sorry, Linda, we always call you counselor, but listen up. So the dates are kind of irrelevant right now because we don't know when they're, So basically you're here to say when you do get going, when you do have a schedule, a confirmed approved schedule from the city for that, to use that facility, you want to know, you're asking for approval from for a malt and liquor license for those, whatever the dates are.
Yeah, malt liquor. Yes, correct.
Okay, so that was my question. I just wanted to confirm that.
Very good. So here's the situation. I mean, I think it's very similar to the last situation in that these people have had these events in the past. They're going to run them exactly the same as they have in the past. They just don't have the dates, not through any fault of their own, but by the circumstance. And again, approving these things based upon giving them an approval as long as the situation is clear with the governor and the mayor and the medical people. Then I think, again, we're in a situation where we have to see we grant the license contingent upon those factors being met. But before we go any further, I should probably ask.
On my phone. I think this is the same situation as what we had in the prior agreement, and having this many people in one spot, Major League sports, looking at no fans. If they wanted to play football, I would think they would have to have no fans at this point. And I'd be concerned about having a liquor license with no fans, and the only people that could be using it is the workers that are there. So I think it's a wait and see situation. And
I'm taking this, I take each item separately. I'm looking at this one a little bit different than the previous one. This one requires a little more planning from a business perspective. When Molly mentioned ticket sales have to be planned out a little bit. Season ticket holders, they have to know whether this is going to potentially happen. So my thinking is in July, August, when she applies for, usage of the stadium of Harry Delarusso, if this is not resolved, this gathering issue, then they're not going to allow it. She's not going to be allowed in there anyway. So, but from from running an organization like she is, season tickets and getting, I think I'm thinking of a little bit different. I think she needs to be planning for future fans and to build up this business of hers. And it happens to be football. So I'm looking at it a little bit different. And I think I'll be okay with approving this contingent upon, she gets, approval to use the stadium if available. If the city feels it's safe. If they don't feel it's safe, you're not going to get use of it anyway. So, but at least you can do a little planning ahead of time so that you can serve, liquor at, beer and wine at these events, which, season ticket. So, I just want to say about that, and then I'll hand it back to our chairman.
Very good. Thank you very much. Well, I mean, to be honest, I'd have to say that the last gentleman needed as much planning. So, I mean, I don't know if that's the winning toss, but nonetheless, I would also vote to approve this contingent on the situation being resolved. That if she can get into the stadium, if they are allowing gatherings, then we should allow them to sell alcohol at those gatherings. We're not telling them they can have a gathering without approval from the governor or mayor or anybody else. All of this stuff is contingent. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with the contingency aspect of it. So I would second Commissioner LaCroix's motion and approve this.
Well,
Yes, Commissioner Gwyneth.
I just, in staying with my feelings from the last applicant, I would like to be recorded as being opposed.
Very good. Thank you very much. The motion.
Just one last thing, Chairman. So, comparing the two situations, we do have experience with, Molly's organization as well. She's run these events at the stadium, I think, pretty clean. So it's a little bit different than the other one where it's a much larger, probably the largest gathering that's ever done. So I want to just make that noted that.
Very good, sir. That's noted.
Totally agree with you. Wonderful.
Okay.
Very good. So the application for 6 one-day malt wine licenses of the Boston Renegades is approved. The licenses will be at Harry Delarusso Stadium. The hours are 4:30 to 8. and the dates are yet to be determined. However, they will be worked out between the city and the Renegades. And as long as they get all the approvals, those licenses are approved. Thank you very
Brandon,
much.
thank you very much.
That is not opposed to the motion. He is just asking to postpone it, which is what we are asking for the Moroccan Cultural Day. We are not planning to do it on June 20th. We are asking you to give us a contingent approval and be postponed. I mean, we could just read the communication from Councillor Sereno. That's what he was telling me. He said that he did not oppose it. He asked to postpone it, which what we are asking for.
But, sir,
So I'm not disagreeing with Councillor Sereno. We are not looking to do this festival next month. We understand that it's not the right time. We are still working with Revere Emergency Response Team, supporting them with a numbers of efforts. We are still seeking funds for our city to fight against the coronavirus. We understand that. No question is asked about it. And I believe that it's right there. We are just asking for a contingent approval, and he's approving it. It seems like by reading the letter, it seems like he's giving us a contingent approval, meaning we are not willing to do it next month, but when things goes back to normal, we are allowed to do it.
I do not say no to this applicant. I do say no to the timing.
I'll have to agree with that, Commissioner Granasso. Same type of deal. I could not support this at this time.
Without the June date and approving it on the basis of when it's safe enough, he can have the event.
That's what I have been asking for since the coronavirus started.
I understand that, sir.
But I don't understand that when the Commissioner Lacroix approved the Bossa Renegade, while it's the same type of event, except they are seeking a liquor license. To my understanding, you are telling me if we put alcohol in this, it will be reconsidered for the summer, but otherwise it's not considered. So I personally and the Moroccan American community owe an explanation for Mr. Lacroix by telling me that the Boston Renegade event is well organized. I have never heard that. I was honored,
Sir,
during the Moroccan Cultural Day.
Excuse me, just stick with your
Yeah, exactly. No, it's the same matter, because I don't see, because when I see other people, if you allow me to speak, I will explain my opinion.
Okay.
So when I see other people are receiving a contingent approval in 5 minutes, and I'm wasting my time. To be honest with you, I should be doing something else. I work as a technical service manager for a medical device company, servicing all of these medical devices all over the world. I work for a nonprofit organization, volunteering my time, and I work also for the city and the emergency response team. When you keep bringing me to these meetings for 3 months for no reason, because you asked for 10 approvals, I got all the approvals. The Bossa Renegade wasn't asking for one. So I need an explanation for this. I'm coming here to teach me how to not waste my time and do not waste your time as well. Because if I keep coming here for 3 months for no reason, something is wrong, and I'm relying on you to teach me what's the right thing to do.
I think for some reason he's taking it a little personal. I don't think this would have been an issue at all. You're saying you've already said you don't want the 20th. Okay, so then I will take that off of here, the 20th. I mean, if you're looking for a postponement of the June 20th, well, then I'm looking at it differently today.
I support this application, and honestly, you're all good folks. I know you look out for the best for the city, but I got two parts to nice situation here. Rashid always runs a good show, and I know everybody's concerned about the situation with the COVID, but honestly, I think that's more of a Board of Health issue than it is a License Commission issue. You know, they're just looking for a license. Now, the Board of Health won't let them run it if they want it June 20th. I'd give them an open application, like the chairman said before, and approve it. Let the date come up later on when the Board of Health allows it. You know, I was very disappointed with the Renegades because, you know, just because they're a business and running a big professional football team, you know, that should not have been approved. You know, it's a liquor situation. It's a beer and wine situation. They can't have it anyways. And what you did with them, you allow them to have it, but they're not going to be able to have it with the situation going on. Do the same thing with this gentleman. Give the guy a break. You know, he's looking for something and he knows he's going to have to delay it. He's looking to have it and the date could be determined later on. You know, it's a good situation. Like I said, I was disappointed before because it's, you know, good for one and not good for the other because allegedly they're a business. This is a community activation situation.
So, like I stated last time, when you started getting the approvals or going to all the departments, Board of Health and Fire and what have you, that was done prior to the COVID. This was done in January, February. I asked you to go back. Now that this COVID is going rampant, you refused. And I don't think it requires a lot of work to go back to get these pre-approved again. You didn't do that. I don't know why. It doesn't require other than emails or a quick phone call. So I would like to see that first. Now that we're in a different situation, no one's even taken that into consideration. When were those approvals done? And the approvals were done in late January, early February, to my best knowledge, before the COVID went rampant. So before you start accusing us against one against the other, it's a little different. The football
It's not
approved many last year, and you can shake your head, but that's the fact.
Yeah.
Wrong. No, it isn't wrong. The fact the approvals was done in a
discriminating
different
against
area.
this group.
Counselor, please.
Don't accuse me of discriminating. All I'm asking is to go back and ask for the fire and police to go back, and we're in a different zone. We're in a different time frame now.
Why?
Because it's different.
Counselor.
Situation is different.
It's not different.
What am I missing?
Yes, Commissioner.
I'm wrong. All right.
Guanasso.
Hey, I just want to make a clarification. Councilor Ivan Novoselsky, I did not vote for the Renegades license. That's
You're
number
right.
one.
This is no different. So in my opinion, the gentleman should have his license so that he can make the proper planning and we can move forward from this because it really is, it's not really on us. We give it the approval based upon the other agencies. And that's my position on it. So I would make a motion right now, although I think before I do that, I have to go and ask.
As Councilor Novoselsky had mentioned, with no date on it, things have been done on that. And this gentleman has done a lot for this community, and it can be contingent with an open date on it.
First of all, I want to thank Councilor Ira Novoselsky for taking the time to talk about this. He's my ward councilor. He's been a great support for the last 3 events. Unfortunately, we could not do it at Shirley Ave because of the public work. Second, I would like to thank my fellow Ralph. He's been witnessing the work that I've been personally doing for the city of Revere. We meet with the Revere Emergency Response every single day. Third, we keep repeating ourselves. I'm not asking for a permit for June. I asked for June because when I put my application back in June, back in February, we didn't have any coronavirus. That's why you asked me for a date. I gave you a date. I was asked to put a date. I couldn't do it if I didn't ask for a date. When the coronavirus started, I did not ask for the permit. You asked me to come in to this meeting. I did not. But what I keep repeating is I was treated unfairly, and they have to make it to call names in here. Mr. Silvich was fair in his decision, and I respected that. Ms. Gunaso was fair in her decision, and I respected that. But Mr. Lacroix wasn't fair in his decision, and they have to mention that he did not ask the Boston Renegade for any permits, any approvals. He asked me for 10 approvals. I went out and I brought all of them. Then he's asking me to go back and ask all of these gentlemen who gave me approvals to make sure that they didn't change their minds. I have never seen that in my entire life. I do this work for the city of Revere as a volunteer. I'm an electronic engineer with an MBA in technology management. I could be making more money than the Boston Renegade is doing. But I'm doing this for my city, for the love of my city. I'm volunteering my time. I'm paying for $1,300 for my student loans. And I'm volunteering my education, my experience, my skills for the city of Revere. But I don't see it that I'm treated fairly. During the COVID-19, I brought $56,000 to the city, not to put it in my pocket, to spend it on masks, to spend it on food, to fight side by side with the mayor of the city of Revere in this current situation.
Well, we appreciate that, sir. And you know, it's really been one of the good things about to come out of this whole crazy epidemic, a pandemic, is the way that people have rallied together. So we appreciate that very much. Yes, I think we are.
The other thing that Mr. Lacroix mentioned, that our event is not organized, and the Boston Renegade that are very organized, but none in the city see things like that. Chief Guido attended our events many times. He doesn't have a similar opinion. Iron Novoselski attended our events many times. He doesn't have an opinion like this. I personally was honored at the city council when I organized the first Moroccan Cultural Day, but didn't honor the Boston Renegade because this Rashid Mokabir did an awesome job. The other thing, I sent Mr. Lacroix asking me because I didn't follow up on those approvals. You guys also didn't follow up on my request. I sent a letter to the mayor, CCing the city councilor, CCing the commission how I feel about this, but no one followed up on me. Does that mean that we should seek justice outside the city?
Well, I'm not going to go there. I will say we'll close this part of the hearing. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Chief.
I had my hand raised.
I'm sorry.
I'd just like to weigh in on this. I've been following it over the past several weeks. We've had many festivals down Shirley Ave during my tenure as the chief. There's never been an issue. There's never been a problem. Rashid's done everything we've always asked. I don't see why the commission wouldn't approve the permit for the festival with the caveat, not until, I guess, maybe the mayor's office or the Board of Health approves when this could take place after a certain date. And then once we know the time frame, then Mr. Rashid could pick the exact date and just notify the commission in writing and the police and the fire and everyone who helps him out, but he'll be ready to move forward. And the only thing will be the date is up in the air until it's safe to do so. And that can be deemed by the mayor's office and Kim Hanton and the COVID emergency committee. So that's my recommendation. And I want to thank Rashid for everything he's done for the city during the pandemic. And it's been a pleasure to work with him during my tenure as the chief.
Now, Chief Guido, I'm glad he's here. He just mentioned this, exactly what we were asking. Linda and I were asking anyway. So
I think Council Serino is here also.
in Council Serino, who sent the letter in. So to attack me directly, I think is unfair, number one, because I'm not going to approve something unless I have all support from all these services. And again, I took a little offense to some of those accusations, just want to let you know.
Mr. Lacroix, please don't take it personal, because last time you had a different opinion. You were thinking that the Moroccan Cultural Day is not organized, and you have James Guido, who's been in these events for the last 3 years. He's telling you a different opinion. Do you think we have never had one issue?
Thank you for the work you guys are doing with the masks. I appreciate that. I was looking forward to having this event in West Revere, but COVID-19 happened. And to defend Commissioner LaCroix, who is also kind of a neighbor to where the event would be happening, obviously I was very supportive at first. And I mean, I continue to be supportive overall. But my position changed between the March and the April meeting. And when I watched last month's meeting, with all due respect, Rashid, you were very, you wanted to have this event in June. I know you said, based on, what social distancing would be like and whatnot, but at the last meeting, you didn't seem to want to push it to the fall. And now I'm glad to hear that, you are willing to postpone it, and we're happy to, remove the date. And I hope they would approve based on, come the fall, what happens. But to go after Commissioner LaCroix, I really do think is unfair.
Councillor Serino, thank you so much for coming to this meeting. I did not ask for June 20th last month. Even the Boston Renegade, they had a date on their event, which was June 29th.
Okay, thank you.
And we have that meeting recorded. We have it recorded. You could go back and ask and watch it. I did not ask for June 20th, and they still not ask for June 20th. Since the pandemic started, I did not ask for the permit. They sent me a letter asking me to come to this meeting.
As far as granting this license, I really don't want to hear, and I'm not going to sit here and have any of my colleagues be reprimanded on how they voted. Okay.
I would agree.
I would absolutely like to make a motion.
Is there anybody opposed out there? Is there anybody opposed to the festival that would like to speak? I don't see or hear any, so we can move to a motion. Continue, please.
I'm going to make a motion to approve this applicant for a later date other than the June 20th.
Then I'll.
Very good. So the license is approved. The one-day application for a common victular and entertainment license for the Moroccan American Connections in Revere is approved. The license to be exercised at the Whalen School Park at a later date approved by the health and other regulatory agencies. The event will be the annual Moroccan Cultural Day Festival. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, commissioners.
So much.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Hi, Rashid.
Thank you.
Take care, Rashid.
Thank you so
Take care.
much for